Subscribe to Bizbo and press the bell icon. See boring news turn into enjoyable stories. Remember the ad on TV where a family tries different ways to break a dividing wall standing since decades? Even going to the extent of using a massive wooden log, but are unsuccessful whatever they do?
भैया ये दीवार टूटती क्यों नहीं?
In a hilarious though highly embarrassing incident, a coconut breaking ceremony for a newly constructed road broke the road instead. This incident occurred on December 4th, 2021 in Uttar Pradesh's Bijnor district in Kheda Azizpura village, where the irrigation department was building a 7-kilometer village road, of which a 700-meter stretch was completed. Bijnor's BJP MLA Suchi Chaudhary, with a view on the upcoming UP elections, decided to inaugurate the partly constructed road and organized an elaborate inauguration ceremony. At first, she tried gently, expecting the coconut to crack, but it didn't.
भैया ये नारियल टूटता क्यों नहीं?
So she tried harder. To her astonishment and to the mirth of the collected public, the coconut remained intact, but it was the road that broke instead. Reportedly, her husband Mausam Chaudhary used a shovel on it on the pretext of investigating the quality of material used. The embarrassed MLA staged a protest at the site, refusing to budge.
I will continue to protest until officers come and take samples from the road.
3 hours later, when a 3-member team of the irrigation department came to collect samples from the stretch for testing. India has an ambitious target of constructing 100 kilometers of roads every day from its current 33 kilometers per day performance of calendar year 2021.
We want to make the highways of Uttar Pradesh like those of Europe and America.
While highway construction of all-weather roads is of good quality, it is rural and inner-city roads that are of concern. Mumbai itself reports thousands of potholes every monsoon and spends over 1,000 crore every year just repairing new roads. A shocking 10 people die in India every day due to pothole-related incidents, with over 3,500 fatalities recorded in 2017. Way more than the 803 terrorism-related deaths in the same year. If Mumbai cannot have good roads, then what chance is there for rural India?
तेरा क्या होगा कालिया?
Where often roads are left incomplete, as in Odisha's Palasol village, where the contractor only partially completed a 13-kilometer road. Or it is simply built only on paper, like the 1.1 kilometer road in Chhattisgarh's Kavardha. The Computer Auditor General's 2016 performance audit of 4,417 roads revealed that 73 roads in 7 states were shown as complete but remained half-finished. 19 states had shown roads that were built but weren't really. 31 villages in 9 states showed old roads as new roads built. Only 74% of villages are connected by all-weather roads, but often the connecting roads get washed away in the monsoons, like in Shiosil district of Madhya Pradesh. In the northeast, that figure is just 50%. When a rescue team went looking for crash survivors of the AN32 mishap, they had to take a roundabout route because a vital 10-kilometer stretch in Arunachal Pradesh's Upper Siang district got washed away. It took tensions with China before work was begun there in earnest. A new DSDBO road connecting India's northwesternmost tip overseeing the CPEC corridor was made in record time. The crucial Zojila Pass has only now for the past 2 years been open year-round, permitting connectivity between Srinagar and Leh. The Chardham road was allowed by the Supreme Court, overruling objections of environmentalists on the basis of national security. 75 kilometers from Kargil, Ichu village in Ladakh's Bartu Valley has been waiting for 5 long years to get a road. In snowy winters, they have to cross a narrow path over a water body into which many fall and die. Villagers in Madhya Pradesh's Piprua Kalan boycotted all elections from 2004 to 2014 in protest against not having roads. When they finally got one in 2017, it started breaking away in just a year. This No Road, No Vote campaign has taken place in UP's Balia and Jharkhand's Alankhera as well. Fancy national and state highways get a lot of coverage, but they are just 5% of all roads in India. 70% are rural roads and the rest city roads. And access to markets, jobs, healthcare and education for crores of people is not possible without quality village roads. road connectivity plays a huge role in growth. The more robust the networks, the higher the per capita GDP. Government studies show that instead of bullock carts, farmers' use of tractors and matadors to take their produce to market increased their household income. Girls in West Bengal's Saguna village began learning how to ride bicycles because a road upgrade allowed them to go to school all through the year. Government healthcare workers often visit to check on villagers of West Bengal's Bandgacha while they were completely absent earlier. Men who earlier spent their time farming, with the advent of connecting roads, now find employment in non-farm sectors, while women entered the farm workforce, thereby increasing overall employment by 5.5% according to a World Bank study. There are other positive impacts also. Number of babies delivered at home reduced by 30%. The rate of vaccination for toddlers increased by 15%, and kids spent over 5 months extra in schools during their student life. It pays political dividends too. Bihar's Chief Minister Nitish Kumar's 2010 re-election was helped by his 15,000 kilometers of frantic road construction activity. The benefits are clear, and the plan is to build 6,000 kilometers of feeder roads within the next 3 years, connecting 600 districts. This initiative forms part of the government's ambitious drive to build 34,800 kilometers of roads, 9,000 kilometers connecting economic corridors, 2,000 kilometers each connecting border and coastal roads, 800 kilometers of expressways, 10,000 kilometers to upgrade and widen major national highways, 5,000 kilometers creating 208 over and underpasses on unmanned railway crossings, and upgrading 1,500 British-era bridges and existing roads. All this over the next 3 years at a cost of 5.35 trillion rupees or $72 billion, which will be funded via budgets over the next 3 years and 65,000 crore worth of bond sales. Already 12,000 kilometers of roads were constructed at a record pace of 33 kilometers a day, expecting to move to 40 and 50 kilometers a day, but still way below China's expected average of 171 kilometers a day. However, these numbers need to be taken with a pinch of salt. In 2018, Gadkari's ministry switched calculations from kilometer to the international standard of lane kilometer. So a 10-kilometer 5-lane highway, which under the UPA government would be counted as 10 kilometers, under the BJP government it is counted as 50 kilometers. Inspired by Dashrath Manji, who with just a hammer and chisel spent 22 years carving a path in Bihar's Gilor Hills, shortening the distance from 70 kilometers to just 1 kilometer, all so that he could provide easy access to medical care for his fellow villagers. The people of Larahi village in Jharkhand's Hazirabad district, after being ignored for 20 years, got together and pooled 50 lakhs from their own pockets and constructed a 1.5 kilometers road and bridge so that their children could go to secondary school and not leave education at the primary level. By tunneling through a hill, Dashrath Manji unknowingly adopted the increasingly used and more durable German engineering model, instead of the British engineering model of making roads round and round a hill that needs regular maintenance. Villagers in Manipur's Tamenglong district had a road built so that 10 of their villages could be connected to Haflong in Assam by giving away for free 500 crore worth of their own land to the government. While these are all inspiring stories, the plight of Indian villagers should not come to this. To speed up and make the process transparent, electronic tendering, procurement and monitoring solutions are being attempted. LiveWorks, a software meant to track Mumbai's BMC projects, had location data of all cement plants in the city connected to a Google Maps kind of layout. Contractors and engineers were supposed to feed in data when a truck was loaded with ready-mix concrete or wet cement. The software would then monitor the vehicle carrying it to its destination. This way, BMC could know how much material was used, in which area and when. But no data was ever entered into the software. Contractors and all engineers, from assistant engineers, executive engineers, deputy chief executive and chief engineers, all are responsible. Blacklisting contractors doesn't work, as they change the name and office bearers and bid under a different name. Another layer of corruption in rural areas is caste-based preference, where contracts worth 3,592 crore were given to contractors from their own caste. While caste-based nepotism is found in only 4% of cases, these roads were found to be 10% more expensive and in 497 cases paid for by the government but never constructed. One solution to handle corruption is to involve more senior district collectors in these projects, as there was less corruption among those in their 13th and 16th years of service due to the scrutiny of their performance for promotion. Even on roads that are okay, particulate matter in fine dust sprayed on roads was responsible for 14% of pollution in Delhi and 71% in Mumbai, a side effect fact mostly ignored. It has also been noticed that in left-wing extremism affected areas, there are higher levels of incomplete projects. So has development suffered because of extremism, or has extremism caused lesser development? A chicken and egg case really. Meanwhile, new technologies may cure the problem of poor quality roads. Rajgopalan Vasudevan, a professor of chemistry at the Tyagirajar College of Engineering, Madurai, has created a material using plastic waste with which entire roads have been laid, and even after 10 years, they haven't been worn down much. Maybe Bijnor's MLA Suchi Chaudhary should try breaking a coconut there.
भैया ये रोड टूटता क्यों नहीं?
Bizbo's limerick. Instead of the coconut, it was the road that broke, a cause of merriment among the village folk. But it's no laughing matter if the roads are a tatter, cause the lack of them does the country choke. You will also find these sources listed in the video description section. Do subscribe if you haven't already, and please comment, like and share. We have over 350 videos on our channels on various news topics.